Can you really rehabilitate a drug dealer, a gang member, violent offenders? Some people say no, but today we're going to introduce you to a woman who says yes, what she's doing to help turn around the lives of troubled teens and get them on the path of being a responsible adult.
Blurred or double vision, trouble thinking, clumsiness and loss of balance, arm or leg weakness. How many of you have experienced some or all of these symptoms? Have you had any of them appear and then you went months or even years without them? They could be signs of a serious medical condition. How masquerading could help bring awareness and get us closer to a cure.
Many of you, even your kids or grandkids, watched her grow up right in front of your eyes, thanks to the television family hit Full House. Today, Candace Cameron Bure talks with us about her struggles with an eating disorder, her advice for those who may be battling the condition, and what she's doing now.
Well, you get an extra hour this weekend, so how about using that additional time to make something delicious? How about pumpkin apple muffins? Today, we're in the kitchen showing you how to make this palatable treat. Delmarva Life starts right now. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lisa Bryan.
And I'm Brian Spiros, in today for Jimmy Hoppa. Welcome to Delmarva Life from Historic Studio D. And did you say that we get an extra hour of sleep this weekend?
If we get an extra hour of sleep this weekend, you loving that? You loving the fall back?
Now I can't wait for the weekend. So bring it on.
Hour of sleep or not, I can't wait for the weekend. Thinking about what we were going through a year ago right now, you know, at this time last year, Superstorm Sandy was bearing down on the shore. Some people have recovered, some are still recovering from the storm's effects, and the storm left us with much destruction and unfortunately fake photos.
Fake photos.
If you have Facebook, you know what I'm talking about. Well, there's an article on mentalfloss.com that clears up some of the confusion. Remember this photo right here? I remember seeing this. Some said that this was during Sandy. No, it's not. This had nothing to do with Sandy. This amazing view of a storm bearing down on lower Manhattan is actually from an April 2011 tornado. It was captured by the Wall Street Journal.
So we should mention that is a real picture. It just didn't take place during Sandy.
It happened a couple years before Sandy.
That looks like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
That is pretty
also
scary.
In the not fake but not Sandy category is this picture purporting to be from a hurricane-ravaged McDonald's in Virginia. It's not. In a case of life-imitating art, the photo is from a 2009 installation film called, appropriately enough, Flooding McDonald's. So it's a real picture, but it didn't happen during Sandy. So that's another one. Now, here's one of my favorites. I fell for this one, but according to mentalfloss.com, yeah, I did. I thought this was real. This is actually a photoshopped picture of a scuba diver exploring a subway stop in Manhattan. I thought that one was real. And this next one, I fell for this one too. In fact, I think somebody put this on Facebook saying this was Ocean City.
I fell for this one too.
Yeah, this is a doctored photo. It was taken somewhere in New Jersey by Kevin McCarty. It was his name. He actually fooled a lot of people on Twitter, but mostly earned eye rolls from his friends on Facebook. So that's not a real picture. That's not a shark.
No.
It might be a real shark.
But the thing is, too, we see stuff online and we believe it right away.
Yeah.
So, and then you hear it's fake, and then you don't know what to believe.
Yeah,
so,
I know. It's crazy. So don't believe everything you see, especially online.
No, certainly not. And speaking of Superstorm Sandy, you know, it was announced yesterday that more federal funding will be coming to the counties that are still hurting, particularly on the lower eastern shore. The Department of Housing and Urban Development will award $19 million in federal funding throughout Maryland, but much of it will go to the lower eastern shore. And we also want to make note that speaking of recovery efforts, Red Cross workers from Delaware were actually honored today on the floor of the U.S. Senate for their hard work during last year's evacuation and cleanup from the storm in Delaware, as well as surrounding states.
So
we thank them for their help, obviously.
Yeah, applause them on the Delmarva Life floor. Well, the health department in Worcester County has some, I guess this is bad news. They've confirmed that a dog from Snow Hill has tested positive for rabies. And unfortunately, the dog was a family pet. It got into a little tussle with a raccoon several weeks ago, then developed the symptoms of rabies last week. So far this year, the health department has confirmed 43 rabid animals in Worcester County.
Cases of rabid animals.
That's a lot.
That is
Officials
a lot.
are saying this is why it's so important to make sure your pets are vaccinated. It's a law in all 3 Delmarva states to get your cats and dogs vaccinated. Maryland and Virginia do have medical exceptions. Health department says that if a person or a pet comes in contact with an animal that could be rabid, such as a raccoon, fox, groundhog, or skunk, you need to report it to the health department because rabies are deadly.
Exactly.
If humans get it, there's no cure.
Exactly. So definitely report it. Well, you know, it's been in the news a lot lately. Here's another story that's rather sad. Safe Haven Animal Sanctuary in Georgetown, because of the internal issues, the shelter will be closing its doors on November 30th. Now, in the past few months, we have heard about several different closing dates. It's been going back and forth, and this time the board members say it needs to close its doors. The shelter currently has only dogs, and the goal is to find homes for them by the time the shelter closes on November 30th. They're hoping people will adopt. Some of them may go to other shelters. So if you are in a position to adopt, and of course we've been talking about this with our Pet Connect segments, please do so. Go to Safe Haven Animal Sanctuary in Georgetown and adopt one of the wonderful dogs.
I think as of Friday last week, they had about 100 animals, but they had an adoption event on Saturday, so hopefully that number has come down. A special weekend for Special Olympics is happening right here on Delmarva. Special Olympics Maryland is hosting soccer championships at Crown Sports Center in Fruitland. If you want to go, here's the information. On Saturday, approximately 300 athletes and unified partners from 13 statewide programs will compete. Now, the opening ceremony is scheduled from 9 to 9:45 with competition slated for 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
And another story I want to get to real quick. People on Facebook may be noticing that all of their friends' profile pictures are turning to that of a giraffe.
Oh, good. My friends aren't giraffes?
No, your friends are not turning
it's
into
just a
giraffes.
picture.
There is a reason for it. Apparently there is some riddle going around Facebook that you have to answer, and if you answer it wrong, you have to change your profile picture to a giraffe. Here's the riddle. It's 3 a.m., the doorbell rings, and you wake up. Unexpected visitors, it's your parents, and they are here for breakfast. You have strawberry jam, honey, wine, bread, and cheese. What is the first thing you open? That is the riddle. We're going to ruin it for you. The answer is the door or your eyes for waking up. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and I will not be changing my profile picture to a
Even
giraffe.
if I got it wrong, I wouldn't. Still ahead on Delmarva Life, the discovery of a video depicting violence on Salisbury streets raises questions about gangs in the area. Making it worse, parts of the video were shot on a playground many local children use every day. What local law enforcement is saying about a problem some say is getting worse. But one thing they are saying for sure, gang members are joining at a very young age. Some say once you're in, you can't get out. One woman is proving them wrong, how she's taking troubled teens off the streets, giving them a job, and helping them make a smooth transition into becoming a responsible adult.
And you first met this young woman when she was barely a teen. She played DJ Tanner on the hit show Full House. Today, Candace Cameron Bure talks with us about growing up in the spotlight and the struggles she faced after the show ended.
And later, we're in the kitchen. It seems we just can't get enough pumpkin. I know I can't. Today, Brian and I are making pumpkin apple muffins. Delmarva Life will be right back.
Sounds good to me.
Delmarva Life is brought to you by Sussex County Federal Credit Union, guiding you to your financial future. Peninsula Regional Medical Center, honored to serve the entire Delmarva Peninsula since 1897. Your local York and LG dealers, and State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.